Realm of Physics, Juan Guillermo Guerrero, Lina Moreno, Carlos Calderon. Today we are going to explore certain concepts regarding scalars and vectors. We're going to define certain pairs of scalars and vectors and their differences. Here we have the image of a man throwing a basketball into the basket. As you can see, we have the position of the ball in different periods of time. So in order to define or explain pairs of scalars, or even know if a certain measurement is a scalar or a vector, we need to know what a scalar and a vector is. A scalar is a measurement without one specific direction, meaning taking into account the magnitude without the direction in which it is exerted upon. A vector is a measurement involving both magnitude and direction, both variables. So the first pair we're going to see is distance and displacement. Although many people think are the same, they are very different. Distance is a scalar quantity. It's a measurement of length without taking into account the direction of the movement. For instance, in this case, if we were to acquire the information of the ball, of the distance the ball traveled, we would measure this curve without taking into account the direction of the movement of the ball. Displacement, however, is a vector quantity. It relates to the distance traveled from the reference point to its final point. For instance, in this case, if we were to measure the reference point or the starting point and the final point, we would measure this distance, the distance between here and here, in a straight line, and taking into account the direction of the displacement. However, if the ball bounced back into the man's hands, the displacement would be zero, because there's no distance between the reference point and the final point. In that specific case, the distance would be the distance from the ball traveling to the basket and back. The second pair is speed and velocity. Speed is a scalar quantity. It refers to the distance traveled in a certain amount of time. However, velocity is a vector quantity. It's expressed as displacement over time, meaning it's the rate at which an object changes its position in a certain direction. Instantaneous displacement is a specific change in position without having to define a time interval. So this is basically the first introduction to scalars and vectors.